So, and we're going to pass the mic around. You guys did well with it. Put the mic really close to your mouth so we can hear. So I'm going to ask a couple questions, and then we're going to open it up. So I just made a couple notes. Where did I write them down here along the way? Well, one thing Greg, I want to ask Greg about this. And you and James Harris, I noticed, you guys send stuff in the mail. You send hard copies of information about shows in regular post, which I like, but I'm really curious about the effectiveness of that and why you do that, because I don't know if you've always done it or did you stop for a while and then start doing it again?
We've always done it.
You've always done it, okay.
I write copiously, and I just love that part of it. So a big part of that is us writing at the gallery, Jim and me, Jim Wilcox, who works for me, writing stuff. I think Jim Harris is of the same feeling. Like we grew up in galleries that did that, and it's just stayed with us. Laura in my office does all the social media stuff. I barely touch it. I sign on to Facebook every now and then and see that some fool has invited me to lunch months ago. And, I like getting visual stuff in the mail.
That's cutting out, isn't it? Do you want to, is that one working better? And I can also give this.
And I think that our clientele now is bridging two worlds. Like we still are dealing with people who are used to getting postage stamped envelopes in the mail with cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
And we can't dissuade them from that. Sam and I have been trying to convince a lot of our clientele to receive stuff digitally, but since they get that gallery guide in the mail, and they've been getting it in the mail for 30 years now, they ain't letting go of it.
That's the way it is.
And that's going to be the way it is. So
Yeah.
then, now to reach other people, younger people hopefully, we are doing all the social media stuff. We do tons of email stuff.
Yep.
But
Yeah. You're hitting on all forces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you drop little leaflets from planes? No,
we have not
yet.
succumbed to that or
No.
skywriting.
Okay, so my second question is, both Clara and Tarika, you guys talked about working backwards in a different way, but I'd love you to talk a little bit about working backwards, because I think that's a pretty brilliant concept, and I think I'd like you to unpack it a little bit more.
I guess for me, what it means mainly is questioning my own beliefs and ideas that seemed like ingrained, and kind of taking them for granted, and then trying to see what if I reverse them and what will happen. Like, actually, can I find that to be true, that reverse? And oftentimes I have found that, yes. Yeah. I don't know, it just helps. It's more interesting that way.
Yeah. It takes some guts. How about you?
Oh, well, I was mainly referring to just trying to figure out where Buzz fits into my life. Working backwards from that, yeah. It's a really weird thing to talk about, especially when it's unexpected and you really appreciate when it happens. It seems like that thing you just don't talk about, like, how old are you? Like, how much buzz have you gotten? You don't want to know that, So yeah. We're not here to talk about that. So yeah.
I'm 55. I'm putting it out there right now. I'm basically 80. I'm 80 years old. Okay, so let's open it up, you guys. And how long do we have for this? 15, 20 minutes. So I think essentially whatever questions you might have for these esteemed colleagues here on the dais, is that how you say that word? Dais? So who would like to start? Who has a question? Yeah, go ahead. And I will repeat for you guys. Go ahead.
Do any of the panelists have direct linkages with Shunpike and what they may have worked out together?
Okay, so do any of you guys have direct linkages to Shunpike and what Shunpike does, kind of, what they're all about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, did any of these people do a Shunpike project?
Have any of you done a Shunpike project? Go ahead, Clara.
I'll take that, because we've been with Shunpike for 5 years now. We worked with them. Nipo House has worked with them as a associated program, I believe. That's what it's called. So yeah, they were really instrumental and helpful, especially at the beginning, were helping with just the kind of back office accounting and finances and proofreading our grants and kind of helping us navigate that system, because we have applied for, every year we had to apply for many grants to make this thing happen. So yes, we've been working with them closely.
Anyone else here has?
I hope to work with them more in the near future, but not yet.
That'll happen tonight. Yeah, and actually Art Zone, which the show that I do, we formed a nonprofit arm, Friends of Art Zone, which is absolutely not related at all to the budget piece of our show through the Seattle channel. And that has been fantastic because we've been able to raise money for special projects. None of it goes into my pocket for sure, but for special projects, and we have the full-on, I think we have the full-on thing, so we don't have to do any of the, the paperworky stuff, and it's been great, so I'm extremely grateful for Shunpike. Yes, Garth, did you have a question? You just want to stand up. Your knees are bothering you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Kara.
It's for everyone. What is the best, so everyone talked a little bit about kind of just going ahead even if you're not quite sure what the end result will be or like how you're going to get from A to B. So what's the best fake it till you make it story that you can think of that is, or most surprising or unexpected?
Best fake it till you make it or most surprising story on a project or something you're working on that you really don't know what in the hell you're doing. Who wants to start with that one? Oh, come on. Give me a break.
All right. Just fucking do you. Don't care what people think about. I'm not drunk. I'm giggling, and let me put that down because that's not helping my point of view at all.
Oh, it is not.
At all. No. I think I run the risk of sounding cliche, but you really have to not give a fuck about what people think of you and where you're going to go with whatever it is that you're trying to do, period. And, it's been said across the board. I mean, I think that's a part of being an artist and being fearless and being out there. Because it's tough and it's annoying as hell trying to figure out if you're seeming too narcissistic or you're seeming to, this or that and other. Who the fuck cares? It's one life. Do it. Do you. And not care about what other people think about it. That's not faking it, I think. I think you just need to do that unapologetically. That's my thought.
Awesome. So, real quick, Porchlit, when we started Porchlit, it was, so a lot of my projects, I'm also working on my personal or spiritual issues through the project, and I can go on and on separately about each project having its own spiritual reward. But when we started Porchlit, we designated this home. We assumed that nobody lived there, and we made attempts to reach out to the owners, and we found out 3 days before, driving up to the corner, and this elderly woman and this young man are coming out of the house. And obviously, you're not going to stop the project, right? But you're going to make an effort. And then this whole amazing thing happened over a 4-week period where we made every effort, but we kept on going on the project. And then lovely writer and wonderful art enthusiast, Jim Dimitri, was reciting, and they called the police on him, and we had to apologize exhaustively to Jim and the homeowner. But it was, I think it might be directly to what you're speaking to, where you start and you're like, oh shit, somebody lives there. Now what do we do about it? And that's like my personal story of just moving forward.
Anyone else?
Well, I pretty much already gave my examples. It was all making it up. Yeah, it's just, yeah. And I think that's why I realized I really actually enjoyed those beginnings of those endeavors, because I got to make anything I wanted. I could decide that, oh, there's gonna be 5 artists in this room, and I'm not putting up labels, so I can make anything that I feel is missing as kind of, it's an artwork, so I'll just do that. It's just ongoing.
Yeah, you guys?
I guess the only thing that sort of relates to that I've experienced was when I got my master's in art history, I had bought prints with my book money from a gallery that traveled to the different universities, and I thought, you know, that's a wonderful thing. Here I am being able to get some prints by people that I just got through studying. And I got disenchanted with the teaching as a teaching assistant. And so I thought, I'll go work for this gallery that travels all over the country with these prints. After doing that for a couple of years, I thought, okay, I'll step off and do my own thing because I don't have to answer to an administration or anybody else. Any idea I have, I can pursue and take the lumps or the success that comes with it. And it's proved to be an incredible ride. A lot of mistakes, but a lot of excitement and fun along the way.
Yeah, and I would just say, I think I'm going to learn the trick that Jonas was teaching us. Put the microphone right on your chin.
Yes.
You know, the art gallery business by nature is a business where you really can fake it till you either break it or you break someone's heart. And that's why this business attracts so many people and yields so few long-term participants, because there's no license involved, there's no test involved. You rent a space, you put your name on the door, and you call yourself a gallery owner. And when I started my business, I had worked for another gallery, and she went out of business twice, and I went back to work for her the second time, and then she closed the second time. I thought, oh, I can do this. I'm 27. I know everything. And so I asked a friend of mine his advice about this, and his question to me was, well, Greg, how old are you? And I said, I'm 27. He said, well, I say risk it, risk everything, because at 27, even if you fail miserably, you can still recover from that and move forward. And that was back in the days when you could go to a bank, pitch an idea, and they would say, you seem like a reasonable person, I'll give you some money. And, you know, my gallery was started on $10,000.
Wow.
You just can't think that you could do that today.
And I'm going to respond to that as well. The show that I mentioned is a portrait project that I produced over 2 years with a photographer. We didn't know where it was going to be. We had no idea. I thought it was going to be at, what's the place in South? Oh, Mad Art, the Mad Art space. I was told, yes, we think we can fit you in for a 3-week run in August. This is last August. And in May, I got the call, and I understood, but they're like, oh, we can't, sorry, we can't, it's not going to work. And I completely freaked out. I got off the phone and fell apart, and I was crying and saying, why won't anyone help me? That was my little mantra. And then I just started throwing my line out to everyone I knew. Like, okay, if you know anyone, and a friend of mine who knew someone who had this property manages space by Pike Place called Union Stables. It wasn't rented. Get a hold of him. And the guy went, yeah, sure, you can hang your photography show there for 3 weeks. I think that'll work out in August. And so it looked like the whole thing was going to go down the toilet, and it didn't. And so, like, from this really horrible point to the thing working out was amazing. And it was because I just really pulled in everyone I possibly knew who could possibly help me. I don't know if I did contact you. You jerk, you didn't let me do it at your gallery. I hate you. Yeah, Laura, exactly. But
Standards, man.
right, exactly. That's right. But it is truly, you kind of gotta throw yourself on the mercy of the court, essentially, and say, and then see what happens. And it's like, my God, the place that I got was way better than Mad Art, and it's a great space, Mad Art, but this was better. So, yeah.
I'm very curious, since we're talking about buzz, if anyone has a story of something that they heard about their own project that was surprising or unusual.
Did anyone hear anything about your own project or whatever is at your gallery that was surprising or unusual? Who wants to take it first? Because I'm sure you all have something. Sure, you can say whatever you want. It's all on that videotape right there.
Well, I wish I could look it up now, but I found an article that was translated apparently into Indonesian. And there's some surprising things when Google translates it back.
What's a key word? Anything key?
Keywords was something that like the art lives there and Clara never kicks it out or some kind of like it's much better if you actually have I'm paraphrasing, not
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, yeah.
Funny. Yeah. Anyone else? You think you got a great show and then you hear something.
Well, mine's more general than that. We were selling a house once, our first house, and our real estate agent was holding an open house, and some people were coming through there, and they were talking about the house and the art that was obvious in it, and Michael overheard one of these fellows say to his wife, well, you know, he's just a trust fund kid. He doesn't have to worry about money. He can just throw it around.
Perfect.
And Michael said, excuse me, are you talking about one of the owners of the house? He said, yeah, isn't that Greg Kucera? Like he's wealthy beyond means by some trust fund? And Michael said, no, he's from Gold Bar.
Perfect.
So real quick, one project that we did, I partnered with Courtney Sheehan, who's the artistic director of Northwest Film Forum, does amazing work. I can't speak enough about her. We did this project called Cap Hill PSA. We saw a rising issue of violence toward LGBTQ community members, and we asked about 20 artists to create posters. And you know what we did was we created a hashtag that allowed us to track it. And over the next night, there was this huge discussion on what's the website where you can post stuff and people can Reddit. And it was incredible to see the range of both positive and negative, and then realize over and over again when I do these shows involving other artists how defensive I am about the artist. Like when people start, attacking the artist.
Oh man, damn it, be honest. Okay, damn, I'm getting dared on the stage.
Just say it.
I don't really. It's a bit different for my space. It's a lot of misconceptions, maybe, and yeah. Somebody said something. What they say, Jonas? No, they said. What they say?
When they said there was a weed store, they got the next door.
Okay, well then we can talk about that all day. So no, there is a I live right above, and Martyr Sauce is right beside a medicinal marijuana dispensary, and I am not the owner and curator of Martyr Sauce. I run the medicinal marijuana dispensary. That's an ongoing everyday thing. So yeah, we have that. And yeah, we'll be here all night. We'll be here all night, yeah. Thank you, Jonas.
I think we have time for one more. Yeah, one more. How about you right there? Yeah.
I'm curious, Buzz can pay long-term dividends, all day, but I'm curious about the stories. I know Seattle doesn't like to talk about money, but what Buzz actually brought others to you that actually helped build revenue for you, and that you really felt that you were able to get as much to help you.
So what Buzz brought basically money to you, to your project, whatever it was, to help you keep going?
I'll start with that, since I've been so weird about Buzz. For me, I didn't really speak much about social media, but that's been a big platform for me, especially relocating here to Seattle. I didn't have social media really in Atlanta. It drove me nuts. I tried it, had to get off because I was going to kill somebody. So it didn't serve a purpose really. When I moved here, it was when Martyr Sauce opened its doors. There, it needed to exist in a, open space essentially. So a lot of it's that buzz of who's that new girl? What is she doing? This is something that I've never heard of before. Oh my God, she's raising children in Pioneer Square. It's just like little things, her hair, bullshit, but whatever it is and however I chose, and it's very calculated, whatever it is that I'm putting on social media is for money. Damn it, I told a secret, Jonas. Y'all damn fuck. It's all about, and I think that that's really important when it comes to social media. Have it be to make money. I know artists is like, it's not about the money. You're putting your personal something. You're giving yourself every time you do a post. And I'm like Nancy, I have no statement to make if it, and I'll have a little blurb with a picture, an image. And that's very important. Just treat it as a business first and foremost, and it will come to you as a business.
Branding.
So this may not be what you want to hear, but that's what this is about. It has served all my projects and all the different things, perhaps the buzzes and these things may have led to more ticket sales, or may have even sometimes sold some more art. It may have allowed me to do certain things that I wasn't able to do before. But I'm actually of the like, I've spent the last 3 years throwing stuff up on the wall, and I've invested a lot of money and time and effort, and I haven't made money off it. No, I haven't. But what it's done, though, the reward, though, is 3 years ago and to where I am now, the confidence level is through the roof. Like, you're like, you met me 3 years ago, and now you'd be like, this guy's an asshole. But that's because I've earned it based on a trial and error, right?
Good. Yeah. You are an asshole. And I like it.
Money. Well, Nipo House never was really about the money and never made any money, but what it made was making the projects and the art possible. And that was always our goal. So basically it was combination of press and social media that allowed the word spread around, and I think that allowed us to get grants every year. And also as the years went by, we wouldn't be able to cover the expenses for the event if we didn't charge fees. So we charged small fee, and therefore we were actually more and more relying on the participation. And I think that's what helped us actually get out of some real trouble last year, because we didn't receive our main grant that we have in all those years before. So we were relying on the admission fee, which is voluntary. And if you know anything about the event, you can walk in a block away and you don't have to pay anything. So it's a purely voluntary thing. But I think there was enough buzz in the social media that actually a lot of people plan to come this year, except I don't know if you remember the big storm in August. That was our weekend.
That's what I was remembering, yeah.
Yes, and so we saw that coming, and it was incredibly scary and stressful because it was our final year for once. So we thought, we've seen it all, done it all. So no, that was completely different scenario. We've had sunny weather every year before that. So how do you deal with a storm, and major storm that's coming down? But also the stress level was especially increased because we knew we were relying basically on participation to even cover our expenses, and we didn't want to go into red our last year. So luckily, I think there was the response prior to the event was huge, bigger than all the other years, and the weather kind of, I'm sure, dampened it. So we were on a level as usual and covered our expenses. So that's my experience with it. That helped. Yeah.
Good. You guys have anything else?
Yeah, I guess in terms of making money and what's worked and what hasn't, or I've tried many things, taking the art on the road, doing catalogs, starting things like the Artist Stamp Collective to bring a different kind of audience into the gallery, and going to art fairs, now with the internet. The combination of all those elements seems to, when one's not working, perhaps another one steps up, but keep coming up with ideas to try and engage a new audience, or find better material to offer in a different way, or come up with themes or exhibition ideas which may engage a group that have not paid attention before.
Good.
Yeah, and For me, I'd say it's just getting involved with the internet. In the mid-'90s, I had a woman working for me named Jenna Scott, who's a very smart woman, and she saw the potential of this and took part in that program that Microsoft produced where they wanted to get people in the arts involved in the internet and in website building and stuff like that. So we paid her wages to go and do that and be part of that program at Seattle Art Museum, and she came back and built us a website. And from 1996 forward, we have had a website, and on that website we have every single object in the gallery with a price on it. And it's going forward with that transparency as a way of building that kind of passive buzz that helps. And the funniest thing I ever see with this is when we go to art fairs. Sam and I are like the veterans of the art fairs. I've run into these people who go, "Oh, I love your website." And I say, "Oh, great, tell me your name." And they, "Joe Schmo." "Well, I don't recognize your name." "Oh, I've never bought anything from you, but I use your website to research all kinds of other artists that I'm looking at."
But that is the amazing thing about the web. I completely agree. People want it now. They want the price. They want to know. They want the dimensions. And it is fantastic. I mean, it's...
Shop our websites in your underwear.
You can shop his website in your underwear or no underwear, whatever you're into. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap this piece. And then, so everyone can... The best is yet to come. You. All of you. So we're going to take a break, get a little food, some more drinks, and I think we're going to reconfigure the chairs, and we'll sit around and have some more conversation. Thank you.